Hello and welcome back to another weather video. Today we are talking about the Atlantic hurricane season because a lot of things have happened throughout the last 48 hours that are very interesting to talk about. So we're going to talk about each storm in alphabetical order. So let's get right on into it. Starting off with Fred. So the remnants of Fred. Currently has maximum sustained winds of 25 miles an hour, minimum central pressure of 1,013 millibars, and is moving east-northeast at 14 miles an hour through New England. Now, this storm is currently producing plenty of heavy and torrential rains, and we're going to go to the NAM 3-kilometer model and talk about it. So, low pressure's right here, continuing to move northeast-ish. And you can see that the heavy rain is on the southeast side of the storm. That'll continue through most of the major metropolitan areas, was through Philadelphia, through New York City, through all of Connecticut, and moving through Massachusetts and the rest of New England before it eventually all gets dismantled, before eventually the low pressure dissipates. So, with that, there is plenty of rainfall with the total accumulated precipitation, and you can see that most of that is right in where that heavy rain is. And that's easily 2 inches, but even areas outside of that, such as Connecticut and eastern Massachusetts, as well as Rhode Island, will get a good ½ inch to 2 inches. So everywhere in the Northeast has had a pretty drenched summer so far. That's not stopping yet. Now we're going to go back here just so we can do this later. Alright, next up, Grace. So Grace is a hurricane. It has maximum sustained winds of 80 miles an hour, minimum central pressure of 986 millibars, and is moving west at 18 miles an hour. So currently, Grace is going right over the Cancun area, is eventually going to weaken back into a tropical storm and re-intensify in the Gulf of Mexico before crossing the entirety of Mexico. And if we go over here to the East Pacific, and not here, but the 5-day graphical outlook, the remnants of Grace have a 40% chance of cyclone formation in the East Pacific. So this storm could be around for much longer than we thought. So moving back to the Atlantic, we have what I call Henri. Supposedly it's Henri or something. I can't with that. Henri. So Henri is expected to intensify into a hurricane. Now, this is one of the probabilities that we had when we were talking about this storm. So, right now, it's moving to the west, and eventually it's going to take a turn to the north and intensify into a hurricane. The interesting thing about this is that it gets very close to the northeast, and the northeast is in the cone, which means that the impacts are very likely in New England. And if you look at the wind speeds, you have the percent chance of tropical storm force winds in most of New England is at least 5%. Then you have the majority of New England in 10 to 20. And then you have southern New England and Long Island in 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and if you get far enough out, 40 to 50, and 50 to 60. So, let's just move on to hurricane wind speed probability, where there is a chance areas Cape Cod, southeast Rhode Island, Montauk, all in a chance of having hurricane force winds. So, let's zoom in here to the East Coast and track this storm. So right now it is moving to the west, and the GFS has this intensifying into possibly maybe even a Category 2 hurricane, riding all the way up and actually making landfall in Cape Cod, which means that the wind fields here would be across most of southeast Massachusetts. Now, this is taking into account all the friction from the hillier terrain over there. So, definitely tropical storm force, maybe even hurricane force winds in Cape Cod. So, what do you think is going to happen with those 3 storms? Comment in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the bell. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.